Hey guys, welcome. We're going to be talking about LPX, especially with an uPX to DAI case study. It's been going from November to July 2025, so November 2024 to July 2025. David.
Hey, yep, thank you. We're going to run people through the case study here. We've been looking at the data. We understand it. We want to share that data with you guys. So, Haunted, real quick, tell them what LPX does for them.
LPX, mate, you can do it. It can do a lot of things, but the main thing is the no trade zone. When the price goes up and it goes into the sell zone, it starts selling to strength. And when the price comes back down and it's below the buy zone, it starts buying. And it's that simple. So there's a no trade zone. It does nothing. When the price goes up, it sells. And when the price comes back down, it buys. Simple.
All right,
That's it.
let's show them the data. So here you go. You can look over here and you can see this November 22nd, 2024, that we inputted into this contract 1.25 billion UPX. And then as soon as we put it in, you can come over here and look at the dates, and you can see these dates right here in the times. It started swapping. And so if you take a quick look at one of these, let's say we take a look at this transaction hash right here, you can see that the E80B contract, which is the smart contract, it started selling UPX. And what returned? It returned what? $297 worth of DAI. So it starts stacking dry powder. So the trend was going up. So it's selling UPX and it's stacking the anchor token. And then in no time at all, the trend will return, starts going the other way as we know charts do. And you can see over here that it started swapping in the other direction. And notice the dates on these over here. This is current. This was the other day I stopped doing this. But you can see when you have a sell or a buy, you can see that the buy, all of a sudden, here's the E80B contract. It is taking the DAI, it's selling it, and what's returning is UPX. But hey, we also have this one here. It's sending it to this 44B3. That's our burn address. That's the contract that burns this stuff. And so that anytime we were buying with our private one, it was sending some of the UPX to the burn address. But Honda, tell them what's going to be different with the data we're grabbing here.
Um, Different
Well,
is.
we're not going to burn.
Oh
We're gonna
yes,
we're
that's
gonna
right.
yeah
Yes. So,
yeah
so what we're going to do is show that because we were burning 50% of the yield. Now we're not going to burn the 50% of the yield as if I was going to have my own LPX pool for myself. So we're going to run the numbers as if it was my personal LPX or your personal LPX position. So no
yep
burns. We're going to calculate the yield and see how it works out.
yep. So here's what it looks like in action. This is our UPX chart. It sells when the price is going up. It's selling when the price is going down. It buys, and that's the design as we've explained it. And here's the data we pulled out of here for different dates. These are some of the local highs and local lows that our chart experienced through the running of the LPX, this case study we're calling. And I want to take this data here. This was me grabbing data out of the Excel sheet, the 20,000 pieces of data consolidated down to a few lines here. And here it is in a nicer looking chart. So you can see some of the data and where we started at. And then after, December 16th, it's like, shit, we're down. We don't have our 1.25 anymore. But then you look at January 10th, and we got more than 1.25, and it fluctuates. The number of tokens we have, and as does the anchor token. So we're going to look at some of these individual dates, and I'm going to let Haunted talk about what happened here on December 16th.
Yes, December 16th, we started the LPX pool on the 22nd. Price went up and it started selling. It's selling into DAI and it started accumulating some DAI. So now we have 1.02 billion UPX and 59,349 DAI. So we were
Yep.
selling. So this is the very beginning. This is the first sell, the first run up, the first local high. Yes, you're going to have an impermanent loss. This is how it's been. This is what it's doing. It's built to do this.
Yep. And a lot of people in the community, when they first see an LPX, they look at it and say, oh, shit, I'm losing my tokens. This thing just lost 25 million UPX. Yeah, but look at this. But that's if we took this $59,000. That's what this reallocated part down here is. We were pretending it's like, okay, I'm afraid. I can see this number right here. It's down. I don't like that. I'm going to take my $59,000. I'm going to go use this price and I'm going to go buy them all back. I'm going to reallocate because I'm worried. And if you do that, if you panic as you start stacking the fund token, you're going to realize that, oh shit, I can't get my tokens back. I'm going to have an impermanent loss. But if you don't panic and you just wait for the market to turn back around, you're going to find out that all of a sudden those uh those things you thought were losses turn into gains. So if you take a look at the next snapshot, here's January 10th. That last one was December. Here we are a month later, and the amount of UPX we hold now is larger than what we started with. Remember, we started out with 1.25. We are now 1.26, and we still have some DAI. It's sold. Now that
Nice.
was 59,000 DAI a minute ago. Now we're down to 53. I mean, to 3,000. So it was buying, but it didn't buy back at that high price. It was buying back as the trend was going lower. Because look at where the price is now, and it was buying as it was starting to come down here. And that's where you get this. And if you take this 3 grand and say, hey, I want to reallocate that now, you end up with a very nice gain. In fact, the LPX has taken you, and if you sold the 3 grand here and stacked it, you would be here. So that's what LPX does. It
Yes.
sells on the way up, buys on the way down.
And guys, if you look at it, in the first chart we showed you, or the first part of this we showed an impermanent loss. Most people panic at this point, and what we're doing here is showing you guys, if you don't panic and be patient, what the future can hold. This is a 2 month process that we're showing you, not a 2 day, not a 5 day, not a 5 week. This is 2 months.
Yep. And this is actually 2 months right here, because 2 months down the road, because we started
Ye-
on November
Yeah,
22nd. So December 22nd, January 22nd, we're pretty close to 2 months. And you're up. It's not going to happen in 2 days, because in the first couple of weeks, you saw we were selling. We had to stack the DAI, and so this was another uptrend. And sure enough, as it trended up, we no longer have $3,000 in DAI. Now we're at $21,000 in DAI, and our tokens down. We're not at 1.25, but if you spent this at this high price right now, you would still be up. And I
beautiful.
think that's
So,
what some people miss, Haunted.
oh yes, that's people are just looking at the now. They're panicking, even though we keep saying to you guys, saying to everyone that you need time. It needs to sell, buy, sell, buy. In any sell market, you're going to have an impermanent loss, and then the price comes back down. It rebuys. You're going to have an impermanent gain.
Yeah, yeah.
If
This
you're
was
going
the
to mod,
top. Yeah, this
yeah,
is the
no,
top. Here's the next one,
yeah, yeah,
Haunted. Talk about this one here. Look at that gain.
yes. So here the price is going down. We're back to very close. If you actually look at that price and go back to January, the first one when we're at impermanent loss. Sorry, go back 2 slides, Dave. Look
Yeah.
at the price
Well, yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah. It was the same. It's like 166, I think it was.
Yeah, yeah, 166 and 1659. And now you're actually in a permanent gain of 4.83% at the same price. This is
Exactly.
what LPX does for you. This is the magic.
Yeah, you let it go up, you let it come back down. You don't panic and get out when it's going in one direction or the other. I mean, that's the key. And here's the next one. Look at this. We're stacking additional DAI. We're even more. Oh no. The people that are panicking. I had 1.25 when I started. Now I sold almost 150 million of my UPX. I love my UPX. I don't want to sell them. Yeah, but you got 44,000. And if you reallocate that at the high price, because the price is up again, you would still end up with a gain. It's not 4% anymore. This was an uptrend, and so the impermanent gain, as I like to call it, drops a little bit, but it's going to come back as soon as the market turns around, and you end up back at a trending down for a little bit, and then boom, here you go.
Beautiful. Now, if you look here, we're at 9.6% in permanent gain. And the price is a little bit lower than when we started, if you look back before. But now look at what we have. We have a 118 million UPX gain.
That is great. I mean, that's what
Unheard
LPX is
of.
supposed to do. We keep
Unheard
talking
of.
about the now. Yeah, you have a gain even if you don't reallocate. You're up tokens even if you're not reallocating this 9 grand. But if you want to take the 9 grand and buy it all at this price down here, you're 118 million tokens higher.
That's a very good point that you're saying that you now have 1.297 billion UPX and you have 9,000 DAI. In the beginning, we only started with 1.25 billion UPX. Now you have more than what you started with and 9K DAI. This is the
Exactly.
power of LPX.
Yeah, it's crazy how strong this system is. but it does take some patience and it does take an education curve because, now here we are, we're back down. We don't have our 1.25, but we got 40, almost 41,000 again. And if you reallocate at the current price, you would be at 1.39. So this thing just keeps ticking off. That's April 26th. Here's May 5th. May 5th looks real good again. You're up quite a bit. So you're running through these cycles. And we ran this thing through 5 local highs and 4 local lows. And this one here looks to be a local high again. Look at this. This is where people panic on it. Tell how many times, holy shit, I'm below. I started out with 1.25. I'm really below. But look at the
Oh,
die
yes.
you've stacked.
Yep. And if you reallocated, you have very close to what you started with, but you have DAI. You're not selling and dumping the price. Let's say you didn't need to extract. You've got 76K now. And if you were to rebuy, you're buying at the same, almost close to the same starting point. Your impermanent loss is still an impermanent gain, 0.85%. But watch what happens next, because this
Yeah.
was a good pump.
When you're at
The
local
whole
highs,
pumped
you're going
hard.
to, yeah, when you're at local highs, you're going to be out of you've sold some of your anchor to, I mean, your fund token. And now you're sitting here with a whole bunch of die waiting to buy the dip.
Yeah, this
And there are people out there like, oh, well, what if it doesn't dip? Well, holy hell. Let me see that market in crypto because it always comes back
just
down. And
before,
sure
this was a
enough,
2.5. That was a 250% pump there, right?
yes.
Now it's going to come back down. So people are like, but what if it pumps too hard? They panic. But this is what happens when it comes back. Look at the results here. Dave?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, just look at this. You're reallocating. You have $15,000. That says price, but we don't. The price didn't show up on this chart, but we're okay. But yeah, you still have at this point here. You have more than you started with. Plus, you have 14.5 reallocated. It looks like this. And so, I mean, what we're trying to show you is the evidence that this thing will run through cycles, and this is what it did. It had some impermanent loss, but then there's just nothing but impermanent gains. And these are all local. This was, this top right here that I'm looking at, all of these tops are local lows. When you have a local low, that's when you have that dip, that's when your gain's going to be the highest. But when you have a high, everybody's panicking on a high. But here's a high, and I'm still at a gain. Here's a high, I'm at a gain. This was a really big high, but I'm still above. I have an impermanent gain. And then we had this huge dumper in our market. Our number 2 well decided he wanted to get out, which is crazier than hell in my mind. But so he allowed us to gain an awful lot of tokens. But this is the token gain. This is the chart of our token gain over this case study that we're looking at. And this was our price
So,
chart, Haunted.
yeah, beautiful. And look, it went down. Then went to
Yeah,
impermanent gains.
yeah.
And
We
it just
started
kept on
right in here.
growing.
Here's November. We started right in here, and the price is going up. What's happening with the LPX as this price is trending higher? It
It's
is
the
stacking. It's
yep,
selling. It's
stacking.
selling.
Yep,
Some people say, "Oh, it's selling. It's selling. It's selling." Yeah, I know it's selling, but then it gets up here and it starts reacquiring, and
yep.
it's a beautiful thing to watch happen when you really understand what's going on with this.
If you guys understand the power of LPX and the true value that it brings to you, you'll be using it 100%.
Yeah, there are some people saying, "Oh, LPX is going to suppress the price because it's selling," but look at what the trend is on our chart from when we started this thing back in November. The trend on our chart was like this, and we had LPX running the whole time. And there's some people like, oh, that's crazy. And then, of course, as we mentioned, we did have our number 2 wallet decide he wanted to get out. 1.8 billion tokens sold in a matter of a couple of days. What was that? 7 days, 8 days? I didn't do the counting, but he will look back at his chart and see the dip he made. But then this price is going to, it's going to do what it's been doing since we initiated the LPX. So that's what
Yes, sir.
LPX. That's the case study, my friends.
Yes, sir.
And you can talk about LPX versus V2. What's the big difference in LPX versus V2? Well, in V2, you don't have this no trade zone, so you don't get these little automated micro sells and buys. This thing sells high and buys low. So when your tokens leave your wallet, there's a gap before they start reacquiring. So if you sold 100,000 tokens, when you buy them back, you're going to have 105,000 tokens. It's going to grab additional. It's not passive like V2. It avoids the overselling. In V2, if somebody comes in and starts buying or selling, your whole chart, your whole bag is at risk, one side or the other. But that's not the case with LPX. So LPX has all these benefits. And if you get a better education on this thing, you really appreciate what's happening, because impermanent loss is the one big fear. Oh, but I'm going to have impermanent loss. Well, that's a V2 game. This is a V2 game. It You will have some IL. You saw it on our chart. We dipped that first month, but then it was impermanent gains, impermanent gains, impermanent gains, and the gains fluctuate up and down depending on the trends of the market. But it is designed to win the game. And then
It
let me show
truly
you this
is,
next chart. Go ahead, Don.
truly, truly is designed to mitigate impermanent loss. If you panic at the wrong time, then you will cop that impermanent loss. But if you understand how it works and you leave it in there for a long time, this was a space of 8 months. Imagine you had it for 5 years. What would that LPX position look like?
Oh, yeah, incredible. So yeah, in conclusion, guys, we've showed you a case study. So you've seen what this thing has done for us. Our case study, our average gain was about 5.6 over those different dips. You saw us at the end when we had that big dip. We ended up getting a 20.5% increase in token supply. But yeah, the goal is increasing your token count, guys. Now, there will be times where your token count goes down, but at that point in time, you stacked a whole bunch of anchor token, whatever your anchor token may be. So yeah, over time, this is called smart liquidity. You see the system. Haunted, you got any final words for these guys other than, hey, come to our Telegram room, make sure you talk to us about all the questions you may have?
Yeah, when we say something like this is how it's built and why it's built. Understand, we've been watching this for 8 months. The reason why we're doing this is to show you what we've seen for 8 months. And if you actually look at the last result, it's 20% in impermanent gains versus, and we're talking about impermanent gains here. That's a 20%, unheard of.
Yeah,
No gimmicks here, zero gimmicks, no, not a secondary token. It's just simply sell high, buy low.
Yep. It's beautiful. Sell high, buy low. That's exactly what's happening here. You can find us in our Telegram room here, over here at TG+X.app. You can go and look at our product of suites at +X.app. But this thing is designed to win, and you come in single-sided when you start your own LPX, or at least that's one of the options you're going to have. It starts out single-sided. You can't do that in V2. You can, because V2 is about, oh, let me go earn some. I want my tokens working for me. In LPX, they're working for you. We have a case study that's 7-8 months old since November 22nd until current. So come to our rooms, talk to us about LPX, and let's see if that's a product that you might want to dip your toe in and see if you want to experience the gains we're seeing. All right, Haunted, I'm done. You done
Thank
talking to
you.
these beautiful people?
Thank you very much, sir.
All right, everybody have a beautiful day.